Welcome to What Am I Looking At, a podcast from the Department of Art and Design at Arkansas State. My name is Dr. Leah Long, and I'm a professor specializing in ancient art. Throughout this series, each presenter will be giving insight into works of art that are in some way unusual, sometimes strange, sometimes hard to understand. I hope you enjoyed today's exploration of the visual on your radio. A stele from ancient Egypt that dates to 1350 BC depicts a royal family who share a very unusual physique. The pharaoh Akhenaten, his wife, and their 3 daughters, perched lovingly in their parents' laps, have elongated skulls with protruding bellies and hips. Akhenaten's effeminate appearance makes it difficult to tell if he is a man or a woman. Doctors looking at these images today have suggested Akhenaten suffered from some kind of genetic disease, which he passed on to his children. His wife, the famous Nefertiti, may have also been his sister. The panel is the first family portrait in history, and while it appears charming and sweet, it also encodes a new heretic belief system. Not only did Akhenaten change his name and move the capital to a new city, naming both after a new sun god called the Aten, the royal couple promoted the worship of the Aten as a single god. That was bad enough, but they also imposed this new monotheism on the country, restricting the worship of the normal pantheon as well as domestic gods that people relied on in their daily life. The new imagery coincided with the sun god's preeminence. The traditional image of the sun god as a falcon-headed human was abandoned and replaced by a sun disk with rays ending in hands. In standard Egyptian visual iconography, male pharaohs were idealized with perfectly proportioned, flawless bodies to proclaim the divine nature of Egyptian kingship. Akhenaten's body is curiously misshapen. His elongated face has full lips and heavy eyelids. His arms and waist are narrow and shrunken, while a fatty belly droops over his curvy midsection. The Egyptians were incredibly conservative in how they showed their gods and pharaohs, and the artistic conventions established early on were unchanged for nearly 3,000 years. Akhenaten's rejection of the visual tradition was nothing short of a revolution. The imagery we see in the altar was probably not the result of physical deformities caused by disease, but rather an insurgency in religion and art. The Aten was understood as a sexless sun disk, and Akhenaten was both his child and manifestation on earth. Akhenaten and Nefertiti represented male and female forces of the universe, and their children symbolized the continuation of this world. Because the Aten was an androgynous creator, the king may have intended that his own image be a reflection of the genderless sun god by incorporating both male and female attributes. In antiquity, religions that were monotheistic did not fare well. Think, for example, of the persecutions of the Jews and Christians. Akhenaten's heresy was particularly short-lived, and it did not outlast him. His successors dismantled the Aten temples and expunged his name from the record, shrouding these radical images in mystery. What Am I Looking At is provided by KASU in collaboration with the Department of Art and Design at Arkansas State. Stay tuned next week for another look at art over your airwaves.